I'm Kaylee Golding. It is Reprezent, and I am joined by two incredible ladies. I'm so excited to have you in the studio. So we have comedian, actress, and CEO, Simone in the building.
Yay.
And also former blogger, but makeup goddess. That's what I'm calling you.
Yeah.
A makeup goddess. Megan Ashley in the building as well. And combined, you have an incredible podcast together.
Yeah.
Wow. It is so good. So it's called Know For Sure.
The Know For Sure podcast.
Sure.
Yep.
Yeah.
It is amazing. But before we get into that, how are you both?
Good.
We feel good.
Yeah, it's like great to be out here. It's our first time traveling
out the country
together.
Really?
Ever.
Yeah. Like she would always go on trips, and I would, I'm a mom of 3. My kids were so young. I would stay home. So it's nice to
it's our first time out the country together. So we're going into the new year we're like next year we're planning.
We're traveling.
Yeah, we're excited to go around the world together next year.
Yeah.
I mean, best friends for 20 years.
20
and you
years.
haven't left the country
Long
together.
time.
Never.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy? Yeah.
I'm a little bit nervous for London for us to be like your experience together out of the country.
It's great.
We're only on day 2. We love it. The food has been good. Last time I was here, I ain't gonna lie, y'all, don't get mad at me. But last time I was here, I was like, oh my God, I didn't like the food. But I don't feel like I went to the right places.
Okay, that's what
so
it is.
we've been having great experiences with the food, the people. We're excited.
Yeah. But you live in Atlanta, right?
Yep,
Yeah.
we live in Atlanta.
So when I went to Atlanta, like earlier this year, the food in Atlanta is incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I see why London can't compare.
Yeah.
Southern food, the
seasoning, it's different.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
different.
I was there for 2 days. I was like, I can't be here any longer
Yeah,
because I won't stop eating.
Yeah, that's how it is
Yep.
for sure.
Yep.
For sure.
So 20 years of friendship. Talk
Yeah.
to me. How did you meet in the first place?
Oh my gosh,
always
6th
tell this
grade.
story. Sixth grade.
I was new to the school, and B came up to me and was like, I love your, I don't know,
Outfit
pants
or something.
She like, I love your outfit, and she was like, we're gonna be best friends.
And I said it. I've been manifesting since a little toddler. Just manifesting, and we're best friends 20 years later.
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. Let's talk about manifestation though, because I think it's key. We're going into the new year.
Yeah.
A lot of people have different goals. How does one manifest who doesn't know how to?
Well, I'll say my version. I just think speaking into existence and believing it. Like we say right now we're the #1 podcast in the world.
Energy.
It hasn't happened
Yes.
yet. And we know it's going to happen. We just claim it. We believe it. We made it to number 10 on the charts in the world. So we're just like, #1 podcast in the world. Whenever it happens, like, don't put a time limit on things. Just manifest it, say it, believe it. And whenever it happens, it happens. Give it time. It could happen in a week. We manifested something recently that happened in a couple weeks.
Wow.
Or it could be a couple years. You don't know, but you just have to believe it and work towards it. Have faith and, just move with intent.
Yep.
Yeah.
But even to be like in the top 10 of best podcasts in the world.
What? In the world.
Over 500,000
podcasts are on Apple Music.
And we were in the top 10
Like,
across all categories.
all
This wasn't
categories.
just like social pop. Like, it wasn't a specific category. It was across all categories.
And weekly,
Number
usually
10.
a lot of the time we've had our
Top
podcast
200,
we're in the top 200. So it's just like a blessing out the gate. Like, I don't know how to explain it.
Yeah, it's definitely a blessing. It's I think that people nowadays, like, as a society, we're kind of yearning for authenticity and realness. Like, we're looking for something to relate to.
Yeah.
And I think with our podcast, because and sometimes to our detriment, we're so honest and so unfiltered
with how we feel
and just very vocal and authentic. And so as much as it can be like a thing where it's like, maybe you shouldn't, it's the very thing that connects our audience with us, and they love that. They love that rawness. They love the fact that we're not perfect.
Yep.
She went viral for not showering.
We gonna get onto that, girl. We gonna get onto that.
You know what I'm saying? But they love that honesty, just that raw, authentic conversation. I think people are yearning for that. They're yearning for something real.
And they want to relate to something. Everybody is looking for a place to fit in or feel like, oh, you see me or you relate to me. And that's what we're trying to do on our platform. Just be real. And if you relate to it, cool. If you don't, cool. But this is our truth. And we know there are people that out there that feel the same way we do.
Yeah.
And I think just being best friends, listening to it, like, I felt like I was in the friendship crew.
Good.
That's how most of our audience feels, which we want them to feel that way. Like, even like we got merch that's dropping in a couple of weeks, and then we have a live show. Our first live show is on our anniversary, February 22nd, at Center Stage in Atlanta, Georgia. Even from that, we want everyone to feel that way. Like how you said, like, I feel like I'm part of the friend group.
Yeah.
We want you to feel that way through every experience with KFS. That's our goal.
Yeah.
Oh, we love it. Megan, talk to me about manifestation then. How do you manifest?
Manifestation, honestly, B has taught me a lot about manifestation, about believing, about seeing something. Like, I believe that if you can see it, then it exists. If you're able to imagine something in your head and you can see it, then it exists. It's already out there. And she taught me how to put the belief behind it and to really believe that it can happen. And we're really big on that, like speaking it, saying it, and believing it.
Yes, manifestation is key.
Yeah.
So back to 20 years of friendship. That is a long time.
Crazy.
How do you even maintain a friendship for that long? What's the trick?
Well, we took a break for a little bit. Like we graduated high school. I moved our senior year. I moved to Texas. She was still in Ohio. She got married, had 3 kids, and I was just out here like single in Atlanta and
She's
Texas, lit, dating and chasing my music career. So we had 2 total different lives. We kept in contact a little bit on social media, but when we came back into each other's lives, we didn't know each other at that stage.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So we still had a connection. It wasn't awkward. It wasn't weird, but we met each other again as adults. So we had to do a lot of work, like loving each other through that new chapter, through that season, learning each other. And that's what we want to promote on our podcast too. Like, we pour a lot into romantic relationships, your significant other, your husband, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, but you don't pour that same love into your platonic relationship.
That's so true.
So we preach like, yes, you see us like in our little furs, our matching outfits. We're so excited to be in London. We got the shades on. We're all cute, getting content. But behind the scenes, we're doing the work to make sure we respect each other. We love each other. We love each other in each other's love language. It's just like a romantic relationship. So we pour into it. So, we work on our relationship daily. Yeah.
To be fair, I always say as well, though, when you fall out with a friend, it is like going for a breakup.
Oh,
it
sucks,
is.
man.
Oh, my God. Or
sucks.
somebody you trusted. Or
It sucks. I think our biggest thing is, like she said, not focusing just on the romantic I think we feel like the romantic relationships are the life-changing relationships. Like, those are the ones that like really show us what real love is, and it changes us. And really, it's not. Like, your first relationship ever in life is a platonic relationship, and we need to focus more on having like solid, platonic relationships, healthy relationships, and then with that, you can have healthy romantic relationships. But the platonic, the friendship,
it's just as important.
Yeah, that's got to be the foundation of it all.
Yeah.
And then, so you have this really strong friendship that's been 20 years going. How is it then transferring it to also a business relationship now? Because you do the podcast together.
It actually, for the podcast specifically, was an easy transition because I worked for B for so long, for years. So like, we already knew what a working relationship was like. We knew how to respect.
In what capacity? For someone that don't know, was you doing makeup?
I was her assistant. I was doing road managing stuff and helping her
in my entertainment career.
Okay, wicked.
So I was assisting in that area. So we already knew what like a work dynamic was, and we really figured out the servanthood of our relationship, both personal and professional. And then so when God presented us with this opportunity with Know For Sure podcast, it was such an easy transition because we already had that work foundation figured out. We already knew how to communicate in a professional manner with each other, how to deal with issues professionally. It was already like God had already had it worked out before we even came up with Know For Sure.
And all that helps because we constantly study each other outside of work. Like knowing your person. It's just like a relationship. Like she tells me that all the time. Like, she is very observant. I'm not. I don't.
Too observant.
Wait, what's the star sign?
I'm a Pisces.
Oh, really?
I'm a Pisces, Leo, Gemini.
Whoa.
She knows knows the moon.
That's
and the rising.
It's a lot over here.
Wait, what's your star sign?
I'm an Aries.
She's a double Aries. She's a double fire sign. Aries Leo.
Oh, so you're really into star signs. You know it all.
Yeah, I can't. Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, but I'm into it because I feel like it's significant. So I'm into it a little bit. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So like we'll be. This is just an analogy. If we're walking down a dark alley, I'm like, we get to the end of the alley. Megan's like, did you see that man in the black hoodie? Did you see that cat on the left? Did you see that dog? I'm like, no, girl. I was just looking at the food at the end.
But it's such a testament of our dynamic. Like she's such a visionary where she can see the final thing, and I'm such
everything.
I'm like,
okay,
yeah, you keep looking at that, and I'll make sure we ain't missing no shit on the way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
that's good.
That's how
partnership.
That's a good partnership. Like, and I think we learned to appreciate that with each other.
Yeah.
Is that we know the balance. We have a great balance, and that's important. You know.
But I said that to say, like, studying your person. She's a studier. So I think when you learn your person, like, that moved into the business aspect. Like, we know how to talk to each other. We know how to, okay, she needs a break, or I'm moody today. Megan knows when to back off a little bit. Or, hey, I pull her to the side. We need to talk. Are you okay? Like, it's knowing your person and knowing how to make that personal relationship a business relationship.
That makes a lot of sense. And how did the podcast come about then? Like, talk me through that.
That one right here. The visionary over here. I was so not trying to do any. I was so
did not want to be on camera. What? She did not. She's like, what do you need me to do behind
the scenes? I'm like, I will help you behind the scenes.
Wait, why did you always want to be behind the scenes?
Just because I always thought, you know, I'm really big on servanthood. Like, I'm really big on serving, and I'm good at it. I have a heart to serve anywhere I go, any capacity that I'm in. I love to serve, and I thought it had to look one way. And then when this opportunity came, God really showed me how you can serve in other ways. Like, use your voice. That's serving. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to just be behind the scenes. You can serve.
Her
and use
gift
your voice.
is her words. Like, she knows how to articulate herself very, very well, express her feelings. She breaks down feelings. She breaks down emotion. She feels everything. She's very deep. So that is her gift. So she really is just serving with her mouth, like talking. And it heals a lot of people.
And it's good that you could spot that in her then.
As
your best friend.
And she called it out in me. There's things that, like, that's going back to, like, the platonic relationship, the value in it is that she's able to call out things in me that I've maybe been too scared to see in myself, or you know, that imposter syndrome that we all have. You know what I mean? She was able to, like, kill that and be like, no, like, don't nobody believe in you, I believe in you. If you don't believe in you, I believe in you. And we've been that for each other in so many seasons, so it works.
We just had deep conversations off camera. So I was like, people need to hear this. Like, our generation, these girls, black women.
Our society,
everybody. Like, the stuff we're talking about, I never had such deep, intricate, mind-blowing conversations with somebody. And I'm like, this is dope. Like, the stuff we're talking about is dope. I'm sure other people feel like this. So we were going on our own personal healing, evolving, growth journey. And we go on that journey with our audience. We're not saying we're perfect. We're not saying we know anything. I'm about to say anything. We don't know nothing.
We know nothing.
We know nothing for sure.
All right. I'm like, our podcast is called No for Sure. We know nothing for sure.
We're trying to figure out what we do.
I love the honesty, though.
But, you know, we're learning, and our audience is going on that journey with us. It's like, let's heal together. Let's grow together. As a black community, we brush trauma under the rug. Let's pull up the rug and let's face these demons together. So we're trying to go on that journey with our KFS family.
I spoke to Dame Dash not that long ago, and we was talking about, like, the black community and therapy and trauma. Why do you think that for the longest time the black community has just shoved trauma under the rug and been like, we're not dealing with it?
We've always had to.
I think we haven't had a choice. You know what I'm saying? We were from the beginning, especially in America, like, it's, you know, there's trauma with our people from the moment we got here, you know what I'm saying? And so we've had to just take it, and I feel like we almost feel like it's like in our right, or we have no other choice but to just deal with it.
Instead, who we are.
It's like we just take on, like, okay, just give us more pain, more trauma, instead of just
handle it,
dealing with it and exposing it and stopping it. You know what I'm saying? It's a systematic thing that we're just conditioned.
And the way we were raised, I think our generation we're exposed to so much now on social media. Like, depression, anxiety. I mean, a lot of these words are just thrown out for.
We didn't have that back
right,
then.
But back in the day, even our parents, our grandparents, I don't hold it against them. Like, they just didn't know. You don't know what you don't know.
Yeah.
So we don't talk about a lot of stuff in the household, or things that go on in the household. You don't share it outside of the household.
Yeah.
It was a lot of like Black traditions that kept us from healing.
Yeah.
You know, so I feel like our generation is the generation that's like, well, if you want to learn about depression, you can Google it.
Yeah.
If you want to learn about therapy, you can look it up. If you need help, you can find a podcast that's talking, whatever. So we have more access to trying to find the help we need.
Yeah, and I think I think I'm really big on like sharing your story and your experience, because what you go through isn't always just for you. Sometimes it is to help somebody else. You know what I'm saying? I feel like we're all just extensions of our own selves. And so, you know, I think that's the blessing about our podcast, and the feedback we get so much is like, I finally feel seen. I finally feel heard. Like, I finally feel like somebody gets it.
It's crazy.
And that's it. Somebody to relate. Like, who doesn't want to feel seen and heard and
feel like
related
they're not
to?
alone.
We all want that.
Yeah, we do really want that for sure.
Yeah.
And the podcast is absolutely amazing.
Thank
I would
you.
love to talk to you though about motherhood and balancing everything that you're doing as well as being a mother. How is that?
Being a mom is the most amazing experience of my life. Like, my children are like the greatest. You know what I'm saying? Like, I needed them in order to be who I am today, in order to be like what our supporters love from me. I had to have them. Like, they make up so much of who I am. Like, I would be nothing if I didn't have my boys, you know. And then my little extension daughter, baby J, who's like my bonus child. She came in my life as an,
Shout out to
you
baby
know,
J.
I love her, but she's,
been
you know,
down with us
she's
from
my
the beginning.
little, she's my extension child, and she's, you know, they just make up, they ground me so much, and they're so proud of me.
Yeah.
And
They support her so
oh
much.
my God, man, my kids think I'm the dopest, and
Yeah.
like, everybody can hate me in the world. If my kids think I'm
If
dope,
your kids think you're cool, you're cool.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm cool. My 12-year-old is like, he loves.
He's our number one
Yeah,
fan.
he's our number one fan.
Yeah.
So that's like, I love that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's great. It's great.
Oh. And if you're okay talking about it, I know one of your children has autism, right?
Yeah, my middle son,
Yeah.
my middle son Caleb, he was diagnosed with autism when he was 2. And then when he was 3, he was diagnosed with Fragile X syndrome, which is a dysfunction in the X chromosome that doesn't allow the body to produce the protein that's needed for brain development. And so, you know, I was 22, 23 when I had him. I had no idea what autism was. I heard of it, but I didn't know really what it was. I had no idea what Fragile X syndrome was. And it's life-changing. But it was so divine and necessary, because my son is also nonverbal. He doesn't talk at all. And through my experience with him, God gave me my verbiage. He gave me my articulation to articulate my experiences that has been able to help other people.
Yeah.
And so it was so necessary. So when you see the result of it, you almost don't hate the fact that it happened. You know, my son is
understand
happy.
the purpose, yeah.
He's so happy.
He's
He's like
so smart.
he's so smart,
what?
man. He's so smart. He's so cool. He's so chill, like musically inclined. He's like the dopest kid ever. And he's nonverbal. And it's just amazing that he's nonverbal, and his mom
Your gift
with
is
his
your
auntie
words.
has a podcast. You know
to
what I'm
speak
saying?
to the world. Yeah.
But yeah, it's amazing. It's
Yeah.
amazing. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
And if there's any young mums at the moment who may be looking at getting a diagnosis for their children for autism, what advice would you give them? Because in the UK at the moment, there's so many people that just haven't been diagnosed because the waiting list is like this big.
Yeah,
Or they can't afford it. It's expensive.
They can't afford it. It's very expensive. I will say the last time I checked is one out of, in America, and I don't know what it is in the UK, it's 1 out of every 50-something children that are diagnosed with autism.
Wow.
And children of color are more prevalent to that diagnosis. However, they get diagnosed at a slower rate because access to programs, access to doctors, access to stuff like that is obviously less in the Black community worldwide. So especially in America, I don't know how it is in the UK. So yeah, I would say one thing I will always say about autism, any child with special needs, anything, just know that as a parent, you are the expert in your child. You may not be the expert in autism. You may not be the expert in Fragile X or whatever the diagnosis is, But when it comes to your child, you are the expert, and go with your gut. Be their advocate. No one should be able to defend them the way you can defend them. No one can defend them the way you can defend them. So when it comes to like these IEP meetings that I have at school with my children, they already know I come in, I do not play. I am like my son's biggest advocate. So I would just say, like, it is a very hard journey. There are some dark moments, but it's so necessary. And the fact that you were chosen to cherish that life, to carry that life, to nurture that life, to be responsible for that life is an honor. It's an honor that God chose me to be Caleb's mom. You know what I'm saying? I look at it as an honor. So just know that, like, there are people out here. You can hit me up if you need to. I answer my DMs all the time, especially about kids with autism, parents with special needs. There's resources out there, and just be your kid's advocate. That's the best thing I could tell you.
Oh, I appreciate that so much. Thank you so much for sharing that, and for opening up your DMs. Because that is really kind.
Yeah, especially about that though. Like, I'm really big because I didn't have any, but I didn't know what autism was. Like, a lot of people don't. So it's important to have somebody you can reach out to.
Yeah,
for sure.
I think autism at the moment in the UK is just so big now. Like, people are more open, kind of with mental health as well. Just as a whole, people are just so much more open.
Yeah, I think we just need to normalize the fact that there is no normal.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, stop trying to put everybody in a box and stop isolating and ostracizing people that are different. Like, we need to bring
Love
everybody.
them.
They're people.
1,000%. And on the podcast, you guys talk about, like, quite serious stuff.
Yeah.
B. Simone, like, we met you as a comedy queen. Like, I've been laughing at you for the longest time. Is it nice to show people the other side of you then?
Yeah. You know what's crazy? I feel like I've always showed this side of me, but where I was at with this side.
Okay. So
I feel like if you go back to my old videos 10 years ago on YouTube, 7 years ago, 5 years ago, I'm like always talking deep, like my spirituality has always been there. But of course, this is the highest and best it's ever been because I'm older, and it'll only get better as I get older. But really expressing that side on a platform that is dedicated to it. Like, the Know For Sure platform is dedicated to healing, growing, evolving, truth. I love that. So it's mostly that on that platform. So I think it does show a deep side of me and me growing more in my spirituality.
Yeah. 1,000%. And Megan, you must have always knew this side existed.
What? She pulled it out of me a lot.
Yeah, since we were like kids, man.
Yeah,
for
and
sure.
when our parents we're PKs, we're both preachers' kids. She went to Bible school. My dad's a pastor, but her coming back into my life really drew me to God a lot more. It really drew me to him, like yearning for that relationship. I was always a Christian. I was always more religious, but having a relationship with God, she really showed me what that looked like in a different way. I never really got to experience that younger. Yeah.
I always think, because I'm a Christian, right, as well, and I always think about, like, the party lifestyle and how to balance, like, being a good Christian but also wanting to be wild as well. How do you balance that?
Because it's a journey. Like, there is no...
We were just talking about that. Like, go ahead.
No,
like,
we were just talking about this.
And then you can have both. You can have a fun, fulfilled, lit, poppin' life and still love God. And that's why I always go back to, yes, we know there's certain things you shouldn't do, right? But it always goes, what Megan taught me, like, what did God tell you to do? God needs each person to focus on their one thing. If God told you to stop smoking, you know that because you have that's just an example, but because you have a relationship with him. So the more you have a relationship with him, the more he can order your steps and tell you what to do in your life.
For your purpose.
Your purpose. But it starts with relationship. We're going to sin until we die. We mess up every day. But when God is telling you to something and you have that conviction on your heart, he will tell you how to move. Everything isn't going to change overnight. You're not going to be the perfect human overnight. You're never going to be the perfect human. But that relationship shows you how to move accordingly. I'm listening to him. Excuse me, that was my purse. I'm listening to him. I'm not listening to the world. When God tells me to do something and that's on my heart, that's who I need to listen to and focus on. And that only comes with relationship, knowing him, hearing his voice, doing your devotion, talking to him daily, building a relationship with him like you would any other human.
Yeah, that's important. I think the biggest thing for us is just being honest and knowing that it is a journey. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not gonna be, you know, how I thought, you know, and years ago is not how I think today. You know what I'm saying? I've evolved, I've grown, and, you know, like we were talking about in the car, I'm like, if the focus is always the purpose, then that's the focus. Like, everything else will kind of line up with that. And you'll make mistakes, but you grow. You know what I'm saying? And too, when you were like, how do you like love God and still be lit? It's like, it depends on what your version of lit is. You know what I'm saying? Like, what was lit to me at 19, 20 is not lit to me. You know what's lit to me now? At the house in some comfy clothes. That's lit to me. Like, I'm like, ooh, I can't wait.
Like, it just depends on who you are to your core. This is a crazy example, and this might sound crazy, but when we get like, we turn up, we drink, you know, we when we take shots, we literally get lit and talk about God.
Literally. For hours.
Or we talk about space. Or we're like in the club.
Yeah.
We're lit and
wait, do you have deep chats in the club?
What?
Like, you know how
we have videos and pictures of us literally in clubs, like
drunk but talking. You know how they call it spirits? Like, it's either a bad spirit or a good spirit. Like, who you connected to. When we drink, we get deep. So it's like, who are you grounded and rooted in? I'm not excusing liquor. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is,
the core of us is still,
the core of who you are, your foundation. Like, you know, us getting lit, it always leads back to God.
We will be invited to the most lit parties that you. I'm talking about, like, yo, Drake gonna be there, Hove.
We standing next to Justin Bieber recently
at a birthday party. Like, it was everybody that you could think of was at this party. We are over here on the side, like bro,
the podcast, like, it's
like just, that's just how we are.
Our litness is always. I think it boils down to building the foundation. Who are you? Who is your core? And no matter what room we're in, no matter where we go, we take God with us. And you know, that's just what it is.
I love everything you've said apart from speaking in the club, because I hate when people talk to me.
Girl,
I know, it's like, I can't hear you.
We talk to each other.
We'll be screaming in each other's ear. Like,
do you know when, like, you're really dancing and you're living and someone comes up to you and they just want to talk?
Yeah, it's like, stop.
It's like, sir, please.
It's always the guys as well.
It's always a guy.
Excuse me?
It's always a guy. It's always a guy.
So we spoke about balancing your life, Megan. But B. Simone, what about you? Because comedian, you have your own business. Like, now the podcast. Girl, how?
I know.
Like, how?
Girl, I have a new business idea every day. Megan's like, please. I'm like, we can open this. We can do this. We can do that. Anytime I'm promoting something, I'm like, we can have our own. But I'm just a serial entrepreneur, honestly. Like, it's just who I am to my core. I've walked into that. I love it. It excites me. I love, like, the podcast is something new. I love that I'm still in the entertainment world. I get to do it with my best friend, but it's something new. I've been doing comedy for 5 years now, doing stand-up for 5 years, which isn't a long time. I'm still growing, and I want to go on tour with stand-up. I want to have a special one day, but it's something new. So I always want to do new stuff. Like, our merch is about to drop. That excites me. Just new things in the entrepreneurial world excites me. So just keeping the flame burnt so you don't get burnt out. Like,
I think
she's
addicted to it. She's like, she's literally like, it drives me nuts.
Oh my God. I'm like, okay. We're a production. We need to have we need to do this. We need to produce our own shows. We're going to produce our own movies, and it's all going to happen in due time. But
she's a lot better than she used to be, because she would literally, like, have an idea
and go get an LLC
and then go, like, buy a building the next day. I'm like, you can't do that. Like, we don't have a business plan.
We don't
yet.
have a plan.
Like,
we don't need a plan. I see.
She's like, it's fine. I'm like, Jesus, here we go. So yeah, she's done a lot better now. She calmed down a little bit.
But yeah, I want to do all of it. Like, look
at her. Look at her. She's crazy.
I'm like a crackhead. I'm like actually thinking, I'm like, did I send the lawyer the other LLC?
She has a trademark every other day. A new trademark every other day.
I can't wait.
Seriously, I can't
wait. Wow. I want to do everything.
I can imagine. But to be fair though, like, I feel like when you start to see some things being successful, you're like, wait, no, I've got the recipe for this. I can actually do it.
Yeah, for sure. And then it's fun and it's exciting, and you see the things you have manifested or done with God, or, you know, the things you saw happen. You're like, well, I just got to keep believing. Like, if I did that, I can do this. It's literally history repeats itself. Like, if I said I was going to do this and it happened, proof of concept. I said I was going to do this, it happened. I said I was going to do this, it happened. I said, well, let me keep saying stuff. Let me keep doing stuff. Let me keep believing stuff and just keep doing it.
We have a joke because every time she says something, I always like have a look and she's like, I'm like, yeah, because I know if you say it,
it's gonna happen.
So I have to like.
Anytime I say something, like literally, I'm like, I want Drake to mention me in one of his songs. Okay. And then it's gonna happen. Watch.
Yeah, I'm ready. I am ready.
It might be next year. It might be 10 years.
But it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Also, I'd love to speak to you about being a comedian as well. Is there a pressure as a comedian to always be funny?
I think when people meet you, they feel like who you are on the internet is all of you. Like, yes, it's a part of me. I'm like, baby girl, you're my boyfriend. Ooh, da, da, da. But not all the time.
Yeah.
Not in the airport at 6 a.m. hopping on this Delta flight. People like walk up to me like, say baby girl. I'm like, good morning. Like, you know, so it's a part of me. It's not all of me. It is thankfully who I am on the internet is truly who I am to my core. But yes, it's somewhat a character. I'm not always screaming in real life, you know? So yeah, people expect you to be on 10 all the time. Sometimes I'm tired. Sometimes I'm sleepy. Sometimes I just want to chill. I don't want to talk. So I do have those human moments too, you know? It's not all of me, but it is a part of me. I am crazy and fun.
Crazy for sure.
I don't know about the fun part. Crazy for sure.
See, you caught that.
So, in terms of the podcast, who is like the dream guest for the podcast? Anyone?
Wow.
We've had so amazing guests already that have been dreams, but like, I mean, I think anybody can, like, Beyonce is a dream.
Yeah.
Drake.
I would love to get John on, the baby.
Yeah.
Wait, what was that?
I'm
like, your dream guest.
No, I want him to talk.
For sure.
What would you ask him?
Yeah, what would you ask him?
Things that the world want to know.
Like what?
Yeah, I love that you're doing my job for me. Ask her again. Like what?
We'll see when he comes on. Big artists. We would love to have Megan Good.
There's so many people. I'm like people. A dream guest.
Lauren London.
Yeah, Lauren London is definitely like in the top 5 for sure.
Yeah.
There's so many people.
Tons of people.
Yeah. It's just great conversation though. It really doesn't matter who it is as long as it's good conversation. Yeah.
Do you know what I love though? When celebrities and big guests go on podcasts that's presented by big guests, because you can ask the real questions. Like,
but
you can
that's
really
what
ask.
We're saying. Like, when you come on our show, you gotta know, like, either talk or don't come on the show.
Yeah.
We're going deep.
We're get
gonna try to get deep.
Break the walls down, or don't accept the interview.
Yeah, exactly. Let everyone know where they can check it out.
Yeah, theknowforsure.com. And on every platform you get your podcast, Know For Sure Pod, on Instagram.
Yeah.
Our website is theknowforsure.com. So merch is coming, tour dates is coming.
Yeah.
We
have exclusive content on Patreon, so you can check us out on Patreon. Our Patreon is going crazy.
Our Patreon is lit.
Yeah. Like, and it's about to go like super nuts.
It's about to go up.
Yeah.
2023, if you're not on our Patreon, you're really missing.
You're missing out.
I know it sounds like a sales pitch,
but it's really not.
But like, our Patreon community is so tight-knit. That's our chain gang.
Yeah.
Like, we say everybody is the Know For Sure family, but Patreon is our chain gang. Like, it's our...
They locked in,
family. Like, we give them so much content. We feel like we know them. We talk to them on there. Like, it's really a tight community of people. And...
they find each other, too, which is dope.
Yes. If you're looking for people to grow with, you're like, I don't have friends. I don't have people that think like me. They're on Patreon.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So it's a community that they can connect together.
Yeah.
And like, okay, now you're my sister. You're my chain gang sister. You're my chain gang brother. And we can talk about this episode. Or we can, if I'm feeling down, I can reach out to you. I can DM you. I can comment to you, you know? So they have built relationships on Patreon.
Yeah. It's amazing.
Wow.
It's an amazing platform,
really cool.
for sure.
That is cool. So everyone check out the podcast.
Yes.
We've spoke serious stuff. We spoke about the podcast. Now I've got a bit of a game for you.
Oh my God. I love games.
So the inspiration behind this game is the amount that you shower. Be Simone.
Yeah. Let's get into it.
I took a shower last night.
You did take a shower
Technically
last night.
this morning because it was after midnight.
Yeah, she did.
I took
saw
my shower
it.
for the week. No.
Okay, I'm happy that you showered. So the game is how hygienic. So I'm going to give you something. You tell me whether you're with it or whether you're not with it.
Okay.
Okay? Right, so the first one, showering before sex. Do you have to?
Absolutely.
Not every time.
What?
Every time you have sex, you shower? Absolutely not.
I don't shower before every time I have sex.
I mean,
I'm
probably
not
not every time, but.
If you want to get a little quickie, if you're in the car, you can't.
But if it's been all day, you didn't been out all day.
What she said.
Okay.
Yeah, after a night
You're like, if
out.
you went
After
on
a
a
night
hike-
out, though, I can't. If you've been clubbing.
No,
and
if
then
you went to the club, yeah.
You gotta wash that off.
Wash them balls.
Wash that off.
Okay, kissing before brushing your teeth in the
Like
morning.
a morning, not make out, but like.
Yeah, I'm cool with
a
that.
peck.
It's got. I mean, yeah.
If I love you,
If I love you and you in my face,
yeah.
it's like I'm used to your stanky breath.
Yeah,
Come here.
Okay, like Cardi said, spitting in each other's mouths.
Yes. Oh, Jesus.
Really?
What?
What are you talking about? What are you talking about, Braylon?
My answer is yes.
Spitting in each other's mouths?
Yeah.
Like what? like
How else do you explain that?
like swap and spit?
Yeah. You've never done that? She's such a prude.
I've never done it either.
You're a prude.
It's just like,
I
what's the
can't.
point of doing that?
It just makes me feel sick. Like, I think I'd throw up.
Yeah, it's lit. I'm really freaky though.
Braylon is.
I've done some wild stuff.
I'm like,
I would go to a sex club if I wasn't a celebrity.
Energy.
or if you didn't love God.
No. If I wasn't famous, I'd be in that bitch tonight. I'm not saying I would do anything, but I would love to like what's
Watch.
going on. Yeah.
I would be interested to see.
Yeah,
for sure, but I wouldn't participate.
No.
I can't do that. She's freaky. I don't think
I
people
can tell. I can tell.
And
'cause
you
she
want to
looked-
know what's
She was
crazy?
disappointed in us for not doing it.
Yeah,
Y'all are lame.
what's crazy is that like I've known this girl for 20 years, and she was the prudest one out of
probably why I
everybody.
got freaky.
She had no boyfriend. She never
I didn't
was
have sex
kissing.
till after
she
high
didn't have
school.
sex. Like Braylon was like the girl next door, super sweetheart, very sweet, didn't do
And even
nothing,
now,
nothing,
I go
nothing,
through these celibates first. Like I haven't had sex for a year and 8 months.
What?
Yeah.
Like, actually?
But I like really now at the stage I'm in, I have to really like you. Back in the day, I didn't have to like you.
How are you happy right now?
I'm so happy. I'm fulfilled, girl. And I got a little toy. I'm so pissed I left it in the States. Y'all have sex sports out here?
Yeah, we do. We do.
Had to stop and visit one.
Right, we've got to wrap up, guys. Thank you
Oh,
so
man.
much. No, I have
We're
more.
having so much fun
I
with you.
know I have more questions, but
Alright.
I can't because we got to wrap up.
Okay.
I'll get in trouble otherwise.
Okay.
Oh, thank you so much for joining
This
me.
is great. Thank you so much.
Come on.
No, she has to go.
Get in
You're gonna
trouble.
get her in trouble.
Okay, we'll do one more, but I'll actually get into trouble.
Don't let her
Okay,
get in
right.
trouble.
Quickly, sucking men's toes, yes or no?
No.
Ew, no, bye.
Absolutely not.
Hell to the no. Love you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Kaylee Golding.